My heart rages around like an ocean in my head, because there are so many things that I left unsaid. I can almost feel you walking in the distance, but I know that is not reality. If you are echoing around inside these parallel dimensions all alone, now I'll find you in my dreams. My heart rages around like an ocean in my head. I can almost feel you walking in the distance, but I know that is not reality. If you are echoing around inside these parallel dimensions all alone, now I'll find you in my dreams. I can almost feel you walking in the distance, but I know that is not reality.
We are back for part 2. Hello. Happy Thursday again. Hi guys. Hey Michelle. Welcome back. Welcome back Cynthia. Cherie. Hey honey. How are you doing? DNA. You click that DNA, that thumbs up button. Left your DNA. Thank you very much. Oh, Margaret, you are in the right room, ma'am. Henny's dancing. Hi again. I know, that music gets me, jamming a little bit. Did you lick it, Michelle? You're so gross. But thank you for leaving your DNA. P. Lola, we are back front, sideways, and every way loose. You guys, so during the break, we did the kiddos' math, got math done, and I flew in there in the kitchen while I had the energy and emptied out the dishwasher, filled it back up, switched laundry over from washer to dryer, let the dog out, got the two kiddos squared away, I think, for the most part. I'm sure they're going to want a snack anytime. What else? What else? What else? Oh, I made myself. So in my Walmart order, I ordered, um, I ordered, hold on, let me get this up real quick before I forget. I ordered some decaf. Oh, God, it hurts my heart even saying that word. But I ordered some decaf. And I'm going to see if that helps. No, I haven't got it yet, P. Lola. It's supposed to be here, I think, between 5 and 7. Anyway, I'm going to see if that helps my blood pressure. Because I feel like that is one trigger that I feel like caffeine is, yeah. I feel like it shoots my blood pressure up too high. Yeah. Yeah. But I had my morning coffee. I think I only had 1 cup of coffee, and then I drank some water. And now instead of coffee, I have my last little packet of pumpkin spice Swiss Miss. It's good. I was saving that last pouch for hard times. You know how it is. Anyway, we'll see. I'll take a look and I will monitor my blood pressure after drinking the decaf. And we'll see. If it works, it works. If it don't, then I'll know that's not the problem. So, or part of the problem. Yeah, that can, yeah. Yeah. Okay, are you guys ready? Because they've already got somebody on the stand. So, let's get a move on. Watching this trial, non-trial is getting my blood pressure up. I know, right? I know. Oh, and I did also take a 15-minute just sat down. I set a timer on my phone and I left my phone on my desk. And I have my phone on Do Not Disturb. And I turned a 15-minute timer on and I went and sat down in my bed. And I sat down. I did not lay down. And I leaned back against a pillow, against the headboard, covered up just my legs and arms while sitting up, and just laid there with Poppy as my warm little toaster oven. Because, you know, dogs are like heat, like personal little furnaces. And just sat there with my eyes closed for 15 minutes. And it was beautiful. Beautiful. I'm trying to just, because my blood pressure ain't playing. My blood pressure is like, nope. So, okay. And I'm going to hit the play button. We're going to go. And I'm going to shut my face now. Let's go. I was trying to meditate a little bit, if that's what you want to call it, Michelle. I wasn't really meditating per se on anything in particular. I was just sitting there with my eyes closed. And, yeah. Okay. And we have a judge. I had the Calm app once before. We still have our DiGiorno pizza in the top right corner. In case anybody wants a slice. You're doing great. Thank you. We'll get to the bottom of your age-related illnesses. Lord have mercy. I'm just getting old. Oh, I almost forgot the trigger warner. I did it again. Trigger warning banner. I always call it a trigger warner. I mean, it kind of is a warner, you know. Trigger warning. All right. The silence is killing me. Let's go. I need audio, y'all. Here we go. State
Michael
calls.
Land.
Who? I rewound it.
I'm going to please the court. The state calls Michael Land.
Michael Land. Okay.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state your name for the record.
Michael Land, Land.
Mr. Land, who do you work for?
The Greenville County Sheriff's Office.
How long have you been with them?
About 7.5 years.
What are your main duties?
So I work in the intelligence unit, where we do processing of all sorts of electronic data, and any kind of investigative work to help with a wide variety of cases.
And
I believe that.
did you get asked to try to verify the internet address of the Winds Mountain House?
I did, yes, sir.
How did that happen?
So this was back November 1st of 2024, so last year. I was asked to drive up to the Indian Flats Trail, and we used an Android device that pretty much just scans, just like a phone does, Wi-Fi addresses, Wi-Fi networks that are available, and it logs them. That way we could log what different networks were up there. And the WIN Wi-Fi was one of the networks identified.
So how were you able to identify it?
So it when you scan, just like if you're driving down the road on your phone, and it might pop up, say Starbucks or McDonald's Wi-Fi. It works in the same way. So this showed WIN Wi-Fi it displayed the name for it.
So did you just park on the street and look to see what available networks?
Right. Yeah. So just driving up the street and it automatically pops up.
All right, and how do you spell it?
It was spelled WINN WIFI.
And were you in close proximity to that Indian Flats Trail Mountain House?
Yes, sir. On the road, just at the end of the driveway.
Answer any questions they may have.
No questions, please. Thank you.
All right. You may step down.
Thank you.
Well, that was really quick.
Your Honor, the state calls Jim Perry.
Jim Perry.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. Please state your name for the record.
James Perry.
All right, Mr. Perry, what is your rank? How do you go by?
I'm an investigator.
Investigator? All right. And what do you do for a living?
I'm an investigator with the Greenville County Sheriff's Office.
And what kind of work do you do for the Greenville County Sheriff's Office?
I do the Computer Crimes Investigation Unit.
And what does that entail?
It entails doing forensics on cell phones.
And were you, well, how long have you been with them?
I've been with Greenville County for 30 years, and then I had another 13 years with Greenville City and Greer. So 43 years total. with a
Congratulations.
little stench of about 7 years doing private investigations, so 50 years.
50 years in investigations.
Yeah.
I imagine you have a story or two for us.
There's statute of limitations.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
How did you get involved in this particular case?
The day of October 13th, I was asked to go out by my sergeant to the crime scene to collect a cell phone that belonged to the victim and bring it back and do the forensics on that one.
Now, are you oftentimes utilized, along with Charlie Cunningham, who we heard from as well, to help download phones and analyze them?
Yes.
And in doing that, what software do you use to
Okay,
analyze those?
back then I was using just the regular Cellbrite forensics tool.
And what does Cellbrite Forensic Tool do?
It, basically what it does is it images the cell phone that you target, and once you get the image, you load it into a software program that pulls up a certain format that you can go through it and see what kind of data that is actually on there.
So you have the software that downloads the raw data from the phone.
Correct.
And then you have the software that helps you read it.
Yeah, it opens it up and parses it to make it a readable.
And is that called Cellbrite Reader?
It's called Physical Analyzer, UFED Physical Analyzer. The report you get when you go through it is called, it puts a program in there called Cellbrite Reader, so that if I give it to you, you can open it. You don't have to have the program I have.
And once it gets into the Cellbrite portion, the reading part of the software, are you able to manipulate it after that, or
No, once it comes up on the screen and it's opened up, you can't go in there and add things or take things away.
in this case, were you asked to review the downloaded data from Zach Hughes' phone?
I was,
And were you able to do that?
I did.
And how would you do that, or where would you do that?
I did it in my office on my forensic computer.
And once you're in there, are you able to generate reports?
You can create a report from a report. So if I were to give someone a 50 gig Cellbrite report, but you just want to narrow it down to 1 day, you can narrow it down to 1 day, and then at that point, create another report that looks identical as far as the layout of the Cellbrite report. But I know, like on this particular phone, if you were to print it out, it would have been close to 88,000 pages if you did the whole phone.
And so were you able to review the information on this phone as well?
I was.
In fact, did you identify that WIN Wi-Fi that we just
Yes,
I discussed right there?
I saw the WIN Wi-Fi in the networks.
And then when you obtain that information, do you report it back to the lead investigators about information that's found on the phone?
Right, if we're specifically asked to go through the phone, we will give them a report, pretty much of everything we found that's relevant to what they're looking for.
And so not only are you downloading the phone and reading it, you're perusing it for evidence that you think may be important to the investigator's case.
Correct.
And are you communicating with the investigator about all of this?
Up front, they kind of give us an idea what they're looking for, and then at that point, we go through. It may even come down to the point, and in most of these cases, the solicitor will come over and sit down and go through with it, which you did, sat down, and we were able to show him different things that were on the phone that were relevant.
So were you able to make various reports on Zach Hughes' phone?
I was.
And was one of those reports called user accounts?
Some of them, yes, that's one of the, it has tabs, and each tab will give you different information on the phone. And user's account is one.
I'm gonna show you what states, exhibit 170. It's already in evidence, and then we'll go through it. Is that on the, is that the user accounts?
That is.
Okay, all right. So let's take a look at it real quick. So up at the top right here, is that how we're identifying it as user accounts?
That is correct.
All right, so what is user accounts going to show?
I mean, it'll show if they have a WhatsApp, a Facebook page, it'll identify those and actually sometimes give you the information you need to, if you need to send off a legal process for that account.
All right, so I'll refer you to column number 3, for example. What is that?
I'm sorry, column,
Yeah, column, I'm looking at the numbers on the left side.
oh, okay,
Yeah, so number 3.
okay. That's ZachDavidHughes@gmail.com.
And so is that the information that would have been put on this report from that phone?
That's correct.
So what does that tell you, me, or whoever's looking at this thing?
It just tells you that one of the users on that phone has an email account of ZachDavidHughes@gmail.
Okay. What about number 6 and 7?
SDGpiano@Yahoo, and then the Beethoven Odyssey@gmail.com were additional accounts that were on that phone.
So that information is given to us, given to the solicitor's office, given to investigators to help identify whose phone that is.
It helps, yes.
Okay. All right. So are there additional reports called device events?
There are.
All right. What are what's a device events report?
The iPhone will pick up an extremely large amount of activity that you're doing on your phone every day. It will show if you turn the device on, if you turn it off, if the screen comes on, the screen goes off. If you rotate it from the to landscape mode or portrait mode to landscape, it tells that you did that. It's a treasure trove of information of what's going on with that phone in the hands of the user.
And do y'all use this in investigations to help determine what that phone was doing during a certain amount of time?
Correct.
And is it able to tell you certain things?
It is.
Okay. Will it tell you when the phone's plugged in or unplugged?
Correct.
For example? Okay. And did you run a report on Zach Hughes' phone for device events?
I did.
All right.
Hey, Tony, good to see you. Doing good over here. Did we find Margaret? Yeah, we did find Margaret. Margaret got a new job, Tony. Did you know that? Margaret got a new job. This guy looks like one of my old school teachers. A little bit.
I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 175. Do you recognize that exhibit?
Yes, this is a copy of the device events
For whose phone?
for Zach Hughes' phone.
Your Honor, state moves 175 into evidence.
Objection. Objection.
All right.
Oh, gotcha. Hello. Hello.
So I'm going to start with column 1. And I'll see it.
Right, Kathy?
All right, so tell us what that column 1 is, and we're just going to go down the columns, and you can tell this jury, what is this telling you?
Welcome
That
back.
just, it gives you the time, it's a time date stamp for the value of the event that you're looking at,
Okay, so the event type tells you what the event is.
correct?
The value tells you kind of what it's doing.
Correct. In other words, device plug-in status, it's going to show you basically in the values that it was plugged in.
All right, and what about this source over here?
That just tells you basically where it was found by the Cellbrite program in the database. That's where it extracted it out.
So looking at number 1, what's the date and time and the end time, and what was the event?
It was on October 13th at 4:30 a.m., and it was plugged in.
So is that telling you that somebody plugged in their phone to charge it?
Correct.
So that would require manual manipulation.
Yes.
All right. And let's go to number 2.
Basically, it's 10:13 at 4:30 a.m. It's telling you that the phone was unlocked.
So how would somebody unlock a phone?
Usually either Face ID, thumbprint, put the passcode in. One of those usually would be the way to do it.
Would that mean the phone is in somebody's hand
Right.
or being
Yeah.
manipulated by a person? Is that
Correct.
fair? All right. And so number 3?
At 5:56 a.m. on the 13th, it's telling you that the phone was unlocked.
And same analysis
thing.
applies.
Correct.
All right. Number 4?
At 6:02, the phone is unlocked.
And number 5?
At 6:09 a.m., the phone was again unlocked.
All right. And this is all on October 13th, 2020.
All of these are on, yeah, everything I think on this report is,
And early, too. I mean, Duke got up early. He's like, let me get my planner out. Let me, make sure I got everything on my to-do list. I got my gloves. I got the bike ready to go. I've got the truck. I got my mask. I got my hoodie. I got, oh, check. I got it all. Now let's have some coffee and then go get it done. Allegedly.
the 13th.
Hey, Pen Pal. Welcome back. Welcome
So I'll
back.
bring you to number 5.
Again, the phone is unlocked at 6:09.
Number 6.
Phone again unlocked at 7:06.
Number 7.
Phone again unlocked at 7:07.
And then number 8.
The phone is again unlocked at 7:41.
What is the end time on number 8?
I'm sorry.
The end time? Does it have a start time and an
I
end time? Oh, I'm sorry.
Move it up just a tad.
Move it up.
There you go.
There you go.
7:42.
All right.
But I wonder if the roses were on his list. Or, like we talked about yesterday, were they already there?
So then I'm going to show you column number 9. What is that? Column number 9.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. At 7:42 a.m., the device is plugged in.
And then what about the end time?
End time is 11:34.
And then I'm going to go to number 10, and then we're going to go back to number 9. But what's number 10?
10 is at 10:34, the device is plugged in.
Is that 11:34?
I'm sorry, 11:34.
Device is plugged in. All right, so explain to this jury what this gap in time is. We've got 7:42 to 11:34.
It's just showing that the phone has not been manipulated, plugged in, turned on, unlocked, any of those normal things that happen with the phone,
It's not being utilized.
not being utilized.
All right, and then it continues on. For example, at number 13. What's going on at number 13?
Okay, at 11:35, you're having a orientation change of the phone to landscape, means he was looking at it like this, turned it and was looking at it in that mode.
So that would require physical manipulation of the phone.
Correct.
Go from a vertical phone to a horizontal phone.
Correct.
All right, and then, for time's sake, does it just continue? What about number 16?
16 at 1:21 p.m., the output speaker is turned on.
And what time was that?
That was it, 1:21 to 1:41.
And then what about number 17?
Change of landscape at 1:21.
And again, number 18?
You have another orientation landscape at 1:41.
And let's go back up to the top of this report. What time in number 19?
19 again, speaker activation at 1:48 p.m.
I'll skip to what about number 22?
22, you have a speaker activation at 2:22 p.m.
Okay. And what's the end time on that?
3:50 p.m.
All right. And so I'm going to take you to number 83, just sort of at the end of this report on the 13th. So what was the last thing that the Zach Hughes phone did on the 13th?
He unlocked it at 11:40 p.m.
That night? Okay. The night of the 13th?
Correct.
Okay. Did you have the occasion to print out any more reports?
Gosh, yeah.
Lots of reports.
Yes.
Did you do a report entitled Timeline?
I did.
Okay. And Show you States Exhibit 176.
It was awfully busy.
Do you recognize that report?
Yes, that is timeline.
Is that a timeline for application usage log?
Correct.
Your Honor, State moves 176 into evidence.
No objection. Objection, 176.
All right. So I'm going to show you. You can just tell us about the number one line and what that means and at what time.
Just that application usage log stating that on 10/13/2021 at 7:06 a.m., the application usage log, he was logged in to his
And what is the description?
VPN, Express VPN.
What is that?
VPN is just a way of a private logging in to the internet.
And so what is application usage log?
Application usage log, it's just what it says. It's the usage of that particular thing on that day.
Is it tell you the usage of a particular app or an application?
Correct.
Okay, and so it tells you when you use a certain application or if it, let me ask you
Correct.
this. If it's not on there, that means you're not using it. Is that correct?
Most likely, yes.
So I'm going to show you. Number 6. What is the application usage log?
That's 10/13/2021 at 7:07 a.m. And that's the Express VPN.
All right, is that the last application usage log on Zach Hughes' phone on the 13th?
It is.
Did you do some more reports?
I'm thinking, yeah, I think there's more coming.
All right, I'm going to show you. I'm going to ask you
I'm pretty
about,
sure.
what about an application, report from the Cellbrite regarding wireless networks?
Correct.
All right, will that show what wireless networks you connected to along the way?
It will.
We'll show you States Exhibit 177.
Yeah.
Is that the wireless networks report that you ran?
It is.
Your Honor, State moves 177 into evidence.
No objection. Objection.
So, what is the wireless networks report?
I'm sorry, what now?
What is the wireless networks report?
It shows when somebody connects to a wireless network that's available to them.
All right. I'm going to refer you to line number 3.
So that's a when Wi-Fi is the name of the Wi-Fi, and then it's showing that it auto-connected on 10/13 at 2021 at 1:17 p.m.
So at 1:17 on the 13th, Zach Hughes' phone was connected to the Win Wi-Fi.
Correct.
And you just heard testimony. Where's the Win Wi-Fi located?
799 Indian Flats up in Marietta.
All right. And what does last auto connected mean?
That means the last time it auto-connected. In other words, he didn't have to put in the password. He drives up the house walks up, whatever, and it connects, just like mine does at my office and at home. I never have to do anything to it to get it to connect.
All right. Did you run a report entitled Web History?
I did.
And what is Web History going to show you?
It's just the, where he goes on the web during any particular time.
I think you're right, Michelle. Well. You know what? I even throw something over top of my Alexa that sits on my nightstand because it's one that's got a screen on it. And I'm like, I just know somebody's sitting behind a desk spying on people. Just that works for them. I'm like, no, I don't trust nothing. Let me cover this up while I change my britches.
I'm going to show you States Exhibit 178. Do you recognize that?
I do.
And is that the web history search for October 13th, 2021 of Zach Hughes?
It is.
Your state moves 178 into evidence.
No objection. No objection. 178.
But literally, though, just
I'm gonna
thinking
show
about
you,
it,
line.
you say that. Do you know how many times it happens on my phone, and it has happened with my Alexa, that I will be talking about something, and literally, like hours later, an advertisement for that particular thing will pop up on, and I ain't even typed it in nowhere. I've just said it. You know what I mean? Mine has a little thing that covers the can. I think mine does too. But I'm too lazy to go switch it over. But I never use it, so I might as well keep it shut because we never use it. The camera on that thing. I don't know. Let the watchers enjoy the show. You braver than I am.
Let's just start with 321. Tell this jury how this works, like how you read this report.
It just basically is that first one is it's telling you the Google search that he did, and it was done on 10/13/2021 at 8:22 p.m. in the evening.
All right, I'm going to take you back to the end of the report. Do these reports sometimes start from early in the day and then go all the way
Like you read them backwards.
backwards? All right, so at 3:40, sorry, 3:40, what time was that? Would be his first search on October 13th,
Correct.
2021, right?
Correct.
So the first search was at what time?
It was at 4:23 p.m. on the 13th.
And this right here just tells you what he was logged into.
Correct.
So he wasn't doing any web searches in the morning of October 13th.
No.
No, he was too
Were you able
busy
to run a report
doing other
called
things.
call logs?
I was.
And what is the call log report going to show?
Basically, the call log shows you the calls that he received, made. It usually gives you the duration that the call was.
How many of you in here, if you had to go in the jury room right now with no more evidence, just the evidence that you've got thus far, how would you vote? Guilty or not? Guilty. Mm-hmm. Yeah, our phones are nosy little creatures.
All right, I'm gonna show you State's Exhibit 179. Ask you to identify it.
This is the call log for the 13th.
Zach Hughes' phone?
Correct.
So you just testified, you gotta have to start backwards and work forward, right? Is that the easiest way to review these?
Yeah, if you're wanting to do it in a
chronological
chronological order.
Okay. All right, so, we'll start with, 16 and 17. What are the dates there?
Okay, those are on October 12th at 3:05 PM and 6:55 PM.
On the 12th.
12th, those were on the 12th.
All right. And then moving on columns 15 and 16. I'm sorry, 15 and 14. Let's go to 15.
Okay, that is a incoming call received from John Mello
The night before.
on 10/12/2021 at 7:01 PM. Duration is an hour and 53 minutes.
Oh my God,
So
a 2-hour
that
long
first number up
conversation.
here, whose number is that?
That would be the number of, for John Mello's account.
And then what is this number right here?
That would be the number associated with Zach Hughes' WhatsApp.
And that is using WhatsApp?
Mm-hmm.
Can you make phone calls through WhatsApp?
You can.
And what was the duration of that call?
1 hour and 53 minutes.
On October 12th,
Correct.
at what time?
7:01 PM.
That's 7 o'clock at night.
Correct.
What about column 14?
That's a call from Zach Hughes to John Mello. It's an outgoing call. It took place also on the 12th of October at 8:54 PM, and it was 2 minutes and 19 seconds.
And so that call was at what time?
8:54 PM.
And then going to column 13.
Oh my God.
It's a call from Zach Hughes' WhatsApp account to John Mello's WhatsApp account. It took place on 10/13/2021 at 3:50 PM, and it was an hour and 20 minutes.
So that's on October 13th, 2021 at 3:50 in the afternoon
Correct.
for a duration of an hour and 20 minutes?
Correct.
And then
Well,
number
that's
12?
not sus at all.
Number 12 is from John Mello to Zach Hughes, 10/13/2021 at 7:01 PM, 14 seconds.
And then number 11,
A call from Zach Hughes to John Mello on the 13th of October, 7:15 PM for 19 minutes and 46 seconds.
and then I'll refer you back to number 8.
Call from John Mello to Zach Hughes on 10/14 at 2:05 PM for 22 minutes.
Right. So that's the day after the murder.
Correct.
And then what about number 7?
It's a call to Max Hyde Law Firm on the 14th of October at 2:10 PM for 2 minutes and 39 seconds.
And what about number 6?
It's a call to Isabella Mello on 10/14/2021 at 2:16 PM for 34 seconds.
And then number 5?
Another call back to Max Hyde Law Firm at 3:44 PM on the 14th of October, 2 minutes and 23 seconds.
And then number 4?
Can you pull it down just a tad? Okay, there you go. It's a call from Isabel Mello incoming to Zach Hughes on the 14th of October at 3:46 PM, not answered.
And number 3?
Call to Isabel Mello, 10/14/2021 at 3:47 PM, 3 minutes and 22 seconds.
Our state moves 179 into evidence. I may have forgotten.
It's been a lot of exhibits.
It's a lot. I'm sorry.
Right. So Cynthia, for me, because Cynthia says I regularly have 2-hour conversations with my mom. However, I multitask by diamond painting while I'm talking to her on speaker, of course. So I get that. I mean, I have very long conversations sometimes, and I think that is Isabel is John Mello's older daughter. The one that he had, before he had a daughter with Christina. But I think that, right, most men don't. But what I was going to say is I would really like to know, did he regularly have 2-hour-long conversations with the Mello dude? I mean, if he did on the regular, then I wouldn't be so sussy about it. But if he did the day before this occurrence, then, I would be a little bit sus. Like, so I would like to know if they regularly have 2-hour-long conversations.
I get my
That's
groove.
just me.
No objection. Thank you. 179 comes in.
but I am pretty sure that Isabel is John Mello's oldest daughter.
The last report.
Thank you.
So the last report is called activity sensor data. What is that?
That is, if you have an iPhone, it's your activity app on there, steps, flights of stairs climbed, distance traveled during your activity.
But I'm wondering if the call, you know, was actually from her, or because isn't the Mellow dude known for like contacting people with other people, like, you know, saying he's somebody else when it's him that's making the call, or using somebody else's email or something like that? I don't know. They could be Michelle. I don't know.
It moves 180 in evidence. Activity sensor data.
It is. I do.
You recognize it? Sure you state.
Okay.
Investigative parent, sure you states exhibit 180. You recognize it?
I do.
Is that the activity sensor data?
It is the activity sensor data.
State moves 180 in evidence. No objection.
Objection, 180.
All right. And again, if you want to start beginning of the day, work backwards. So I'll start you with page 6 of the report. I guess that's it. All right. So explain to the jury the first column there, or columns.
Okay, the first column, 16, is showing that the time frame between 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. on the 13th of October, the activity that took place during that time.
So on down here at the bottom on 10/13 at 5:39 a.m., it says distance traveled.
Correct.
So what was the distance traveled at 5:39 a.m.?
51 meters.
And then at 5:57,
Hi, Teresa.
how many meters were traveled?
4.23 meters traveled.
Now, I'm certain that for your phone to register this information, you have to have it on your person.
Correct.
If it's sitting on a table when you're walking around, it's not going to magically.
No, it's not.
Hi, Teresa. Welcome. And you know, we were talking about that yesterday. I wouldn't put it past. I mean, it's totally possible, I guess, you know. Kathy mention this channel. I love that. Thank you so much for coming over and hanging out. She's been here off and on hanging out today too, so that's been nice. Very cool.
Not going to pick anything
Pick
up.
anything up.
No.
So let's go to from, I guess, the time frame 6 to 7 o'clock.
6 to 7 o'clock on the 13th of October. Between that period of time, the actual breakdown of when it actually took place was the distance. Which one do you want first? Speed? Okay, steps were at 610, 611. You got a one flight of stairs. Distance traveled 21 meters, and the speed was 1.29.
And we'll go from
Thank you,
the time
Teresa.
frame
I
of
appreciate that.
7 a.m. to 8 a.m.
7 a.m. to 8 a.m. If you could move it up just a tad. Okay, from 7 to 8 o'clock, you had two flights of stairs climbed at 11:50, 11:37. You had one.
No, I think got 14 from 7 to 8 a.m. At 7:41, how many steps were made?
At 7:41, you had 41 meters traveled.
Okay. So that's at 7:41 a.m.
Correct.
And then when is the next activity on this phone?
So there's no other activity picked up by the phone as user activity until 11:35, looks like the earliest time, 11:35 a.m. on the 13th.
All right, so let's start at 11:35 and work our way up on distance traveled, flights climbed, and steps, because that would be between 11 and 8 o'clock, right? I mean, 11 and 12 o'clock.
11, and that's your time frame, 11 to 12.
Okay. All right, so not to be confusing, at 7:41, the last step was 41 meters,
Correct.
indicated right there.
It was 41 meters at 7:41 a.m.
All right, and then the next activity with the phone in hand
Correct.
is what time?
11:35 a.m.
Okay, and then at 11:35, what happens?
You have 79 meters traveled.
All right, and then 11:48
11:48, you have 37 meters,
and 11:58,
156 meters.
and as far as flights climbed at 11:37,
You had one flight, and then at 11:50, you had two.
all right, and then as far as steps are concerned at 11:35,
11:35, 115 steps,
11:48,
62,
and of course 11:58.
249.
Now let's move up to the time frame of 11 to 12. I'm sorry, 12 to 1.
12 to 1.
All right. So this is the time frame from 12 to 1. What time does it start as far as speed is concerned?
Speed, it starts at 12:07 p.m.
And what is the speed at 12:07?
It's 1.35 meters per second,
You know, is that somebody walking?
taking a step.
And then, and so that speed is measured up until when?
To 12:59, 47 seconds, just shy of 1 o'clock.
So what about from 12:08 to 12:57 on distance traveled?
You have, at 12:08, you got 316 meters. At 12:18, you have another 88 meters. 12:23, 33 meters. 12:33, another 211. 246, 211, and then at 12:58, you have 229.
And then flights climbed?
Flights climb, you have one flight recorded.
And then what about your steps from 12:08 to 12:57?
You have 477 at 12:08, at 12:18, 138, 12:23, 51, 12:33, 343, 12:46, 340, and at 12:57, 359.
So would that be consistent with somebody, say, cleaning their car and walking around the woods? Which are on? And then I'm going to go to
Ooh, a little snarky there. Would that be
number
consistent
16.
with somebody cleaning blood and gore out of the truck and cleaning it off a bicycle and, you know, all that stuff? Mm-mm-mm.
At the bottom there. What is that time frame?
Okay, you got,
It's just odd, right? That it's just odd that his phone didn't do anything from, what was it, 7:40 till after 11:30 in the morning.
from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. on the 13th, and that is distance traveled is 51 meters at 5:39 a.m. At 5:57 a.m. you have 4.23 meters traveled. And then stepwise at 5:39 you have 68 steps, and at 5:57 you have 9.
All right. And I jumped ahead. I'm going to go back to the areas of 1 to 2. 1
Yeah.
p.m. to 2 p.m. on the 13th.
He thought he was being smart. He's like, you know what? I'm not going to take my phone because then my phone will be seen tracked by her house and blah, blah, blah. Never mind the DNA that's going to be found of mine underneath her fingernails.
Again. And you can just summarize Investigator Perry for 10:13 at 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock.
You have distance traveled 515 meters, 3 flights of stairs climbed, and maximum speed of 1.3 meters per second.
And then from the time frames of 2 to 3,
You have total distance 61 meters, 1 flight, and maximum speed 1.09.
all right.
Oh, hey, Patricia. We have missed you. Missed you, ma'am. Hope you're doing well. I know you've been busy and overwhelmed with work. I know. It'll be on the YouTube. You can replay it. You're good, girlfriend. You're good. It's a good one, though. It's a good one. For sure. For sure. Hopefully, you can have a nice, long, relaxed weekend.
Investigator Perry, if you'll just answer any questions defense may have. Thank you, sir.
No cross. Are they going to cross any witnesses? I mean, really can't cross. There's nothing to cross him with. You know what I mean? Me and my squeaky chair.
Going to take a hot minute. I don't know if you want to take an early break and.
We'll take an early break. Get back to the jury room. Get some coffee.
Coffee. All right, so I guess they're going to take them about a 15-minute break. Let's see. We'll click the live button because we're in live time. We're in live time. In real time. Real time. I don't know, you guys. I think he's guilty as sin. I think he's guilty as sin. All I need is for them to tell me that's her blood on that bike. Are they going to do that? They told us that there was blood on the bike, but they haven't told us yet whose it was, right? Are we still waiting on that, or did I miss it? Yeah, Henny, Patricia said tell them. Patricia, Henny said tell them you got jury duty. Jury duty, jury duty, jury duty. Kathy said, I think he did it. I just don't want him to be. Yeah, I know. His hair is so pretty. But I will say this, I said this yesterday or the day before, there's something about his, like, lack of facial expressions, emotions, or whatever, and just his overall, whatever the right word is I'm trying to find, I get Koberger vibes from him. Just something about his air. You know what I mean? I don't know. Donnie said guilty. Here the DNA. Case closed. Cynthia's going after herself a cup of coffee. There you go. There you go, Patricia. Michelle wrote you 3 notes. Those will get you through is it considering it's almost 4? Well, no, because you're on the West Coast. So those 3 notes will be for today, tomorrow, and Monday. You need a long weekend, ma'am. He's too pretty for prison. That's true. Very true. Lacking emotional intelligence. Aloof. He gives me psychopath vibes. He looks way worse in the mugshot. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. He just looks so clean cut, but I feel like they want him to look that way, right? Because he looks very innocent. But, dude, you know what? I just want to know why. Do we think that he was having a thing with the mellow yellow? The mellow yellow who's not so mellow? He is very not mellow. That is the least mellow dude. To hear other people talk about him, he's not mellow at all. Michelle says she'll write more if needed. I know, Cherie. Yeah, his hair, every strand is perfectly set in place. Yep. They say that he's thriving in jail. Maybe he wants to go to prison to relax and settle down with a nice partner. Ay, ay, ay. He looks like the guy that gets killed off in Shawshank Redemption. Mm. Oh, you think so? I don't know if you can or not. I don't know. She said it, not me. I just threw you all the way under the bus. Ay, ay, ay. Prison dating game. Oh my God. Well, I mean, look, you got Stephen Stearns over there sitting in jail, getting his crafts on. His mommy and daddy was sending him origami instruction books. He needs to go lay down somewhere. Preferably on a train track. Looks can be deceiving. He is a dandy. I know, right? 31. Absolute right. 31. How does somebody do that and not be angry? Like, big mad. Just remember, kids, everyone thought Ted Bundy was cute, too. I know. Yeah. Michelle was in here talking about that the other day. Michelle is a huge Ted Bundy, I don't want to say fan. That's not the right word. She's just very invested. Not the prison dating game. Oh, Lord. We should come up with the prison dating game jingle song, Maybe Mello got him all wound up, allegedly. Yeah, I just threw Kathy under the bus tire. I did. I did. Oh my gosh. Mm. I've been checking, you guys. My blood pressure has been staying low. But I haven't had, like I said, I've not had coffee this afternoon. Kathy who? Do you know a Kathy? I don't know a Kathy. Is it Acacia or Acacia? Acacia? I don't know. I know I'm butchering that. Koberger gives me Bundy vibes. They got the same eyes. Yeah. He fascinated me. His psychology is next level. Akasha. There we go. Yay, Ween baby, you're finally home, laying on your beautiful couch. Yay, yay, yay. Okay, Akasha. Yay. I should be pretty good at remembering that. I should be pretty good. There's a subscriber that comes in here, and I don't know if she's here right now lurking, but her name is Aurelia, and she had to tell me how to say her name because it yeah, it's a beautiful name, but I'm pretty sure I butchered it 15 ways. Scoot over. I need some of that beautiful couch, that sweet couch action. I'm so tired. I'm telling you what, while we're sitting here waiting on them to come back from their little breaky break, they were on a break. Yeah. Oh, they're back. I was just going to say, whenever did I call her wait, what? Who? No, I know what you're trying to say. I did not call her an areola. Ween baby said, I've got a big couch. We could all sit on it. Yeah, Cherie. I called you Sherry for like 2 years. And you just let me. You never corrected me, not even once. Oh, Morgana said a few minutes ago, there's definitely a whole lot of freaky tikis in this case. That's for sure. Kathy's got the corner piece of Ween Baby's couch. There you go. I've got one of those like chair and a halves. You know what I mean? It's like a very oversized recliner. Sweet. Oh my God, I love my chair. I've had it for 6 years. And I gave like $500 and some for it on I think I got it. Let me look. I'm not even going to lie. I think I bought this bad boy on Amazon. But it's got the electric recline buttons, and it's got the little USB thing, to plug your phone in or whatever. Oh my God, if anything happens to it, if it quits, there will be another one like 2-day prime, baby, because I will not do without my chair. I love my chair. Oh, you have one in your bedroom? They're awesome.
Investigator Jared Sparkman.
You solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
You like to pretend you're mysterious.
Please state your name for the record.
Jared Sparkman,
Investigator Sparkman, with whom are you employed?
Greenville County Sheriff's Office,
And how long have you been with the Greenville County Sheriff's Office?
since 2016.
And what is your current role there?
I'm the sergeant of the homicide unit.
And what is your prior employment history with law enforcement?
Oh, good
After I
Lord, Ween
graduated
baby.
from the University of South Carolina,
In 2008, I began my law enforcement career with Anderson County Sheriff's Office in 2011 after I graduated the Criminal Justice Academy. I was there until 2016. I went to Greenville County Sheriff's Office in uniform patrol. I was in uniform patrol for about a year. I went to work in the white collar investigations unit. From there, I was promoted to the rank of Master Deputy in the armed robbery unit. I was there for a period of time, and then in 2020, I went to the homicide unit. I was there until 2023. I got promoted to the rank of sergeant. I went back to uniform patrol. I was there for a few months until a sergeant position came open in homicide, and that's where I currently am. I have attended multiple advanced homicide classes. There's a 2-week class that the University of Louisville puts on that's a very prestigious class. Multiple other week-long classes for homicide investigations, along with other advanced week-long classes such as shooting reconstruction, interview and interrogation, classes like that.
And are you the one of the lead detectives or investigators in this case?
Yes, sir.
And how did you become the lead in this particular case?
So on October 13th, 2021, it was a Wednesday, around 11 o'clock, I was at my desk at the Law Enforcement Center. I was made aware that there was a homicide in Greer. I was deemed to be the lead investigator on the case. I was tasked with being the lead investigator on the case, and then I responded to the scene.
All right, so tell this jury about responding to the scene and what you saw and what'd you do.
When I got there, I meet with Uniform Patrol, get as much information as I can from them. For a homicide investigation, there's a lot of things that need to be done and a lot of things that need to be done fairly quickly. So I delegated tasks.
What about, do you assess the scene and meet with different parties to figure out the situation?
Yes, sir. So one of the people that was on scene was Bradley Post. I know Bradley Post arrived in a small red Mercedes sports car. I was advised that he found his fiancee, Christina Parcell, deceased in the house. And then Mr. Post then went back to the Law Enforcement Center to be interviewed while I remained on scene.
And are you gathering sort of background information about the victim and the residents of everyone who's living there?
Yes. That house was lived in by Christina Parcell and her sister Tina, along with Christina's daughter Ida. I know that doing some other background investigations at that house, that there was priors for harassment and stalking that Ms. Parcell had filed a complaint on.
And do you then start deciding how you're going to attack the case?
Yes. So, like I said, we delegate tasks. One of the first things that I like to do that's important because it's time sensitive is capture cameras. I asked Investigator Stokes to canvass the neighborhood to look for any ring cameras, talk to any witnesses. A lot of times those ring cameras, or whatever cameras they are, if they're recording for nonstop, the data, the information, the footage that I need may not be there by the time I need it. So that's a time sensitive matter.
I don't know, is it?
And did y'all start looking for ring cameras and those kind of things?
Yes, sir.
And were you delegating those out?
I was.
All right.
You mean do you mean like this is it before they rest their case? If so, I hope he's got a lot of stuff.
One of your leads to an individual named Alex Hughes.
Yes, sir.
And did you talk with him about any relationship to this case?
I did.
And was it standard policy for you when you talk to somebody at this early in the stage, would you take a DNA sample of them?
Yes, at this point, we didn't have a lead. We didn't have a good lead. So anybody that we come in contact with that we feel like has a connection, we'll get a DNA sample.
I'm going to show you what's marked as State's Exhibit 181. And ask you if you can identify that.
Give me over. Yes. This is still sealed, but I know that inside of this is the buccal swab that I got from Alex Fields.
So you did take his buccal swab?
I took it myself, yes, sir.
How did you do that?
With
One, is that
Did
Yes,
they?
sir.
you?
That's me, yes, sir.
Your
First,
fault?
middle, and last name, yes, sir.
Hold on a minute.
With
They're bad about like throwing the stream forward when at certain parts. So I'm gonna have to go back, or maybe not. Oh, you know what? I think we're just in real time. Maybe.
1 o'clock, I was at my desk at the Law Enforcement Center. I was made aware that there was a homicide in Greer. I was deemed to be the lead investigator on the case. I was tasked with being the lead investigator on the case. It's a cotton swab. It's like a long
Okay,
Q-tip.
never
You just
mind.
swab it
We're
inside
good.
of their cheeks. You get 2 of them. You put it in a container.
Never mind. We're good.
Put the lid on it, and you seal it up.
And is that your JDS one? Is that?
Yes, sir.
That's you?
That's me. Yes, sir.
Jared
First,
Faulkner?
middle, and last name. Yes, sir.
And once you take the swab, you secure it in a tube,
Yes, sir.
and then what do you do with it?
I secured in property and evidence.
So, y'all are out the scene, you're looking for any leads that you can possibly get. What's your first big break?
Investigator Stokes comes to me. I'm speaking with Christina's sister, Tina, in my vehicle. He comes to me and says, we got some footage from right across the street at 121 Canebrake, which y'all seen. That's huge, because not only does that give us a description of our suspect, but also gives us a time frame to start narrowing our search down for.
And so that was the ring camera of the suspect walking into the front door.
Yes, sir. That was the ring camera that shows white male in dark clothing with a backpack.
We haven't heard from the. We haven't seen the medical examiner, if that's what you mean. Have we? We haven't seen the medical examiner yet, have we? You guys?
Going into the front door of 122 Canebrake Drive.
And so from there, what did you necessarily do? By doing that, how does that narrow your investigation?
Well, we know that at that time, at 9:15 in the morning, we know that's when our suspect goes in. So we focus, we start at 9:15, we work our way out. We work forwards and backwards to try to get any video that we can find of the suspect entering the area, leaving the area, how he got there, things like that.
All right. So when was the first time you ever heard the name Zach Hughes?
First time I ever heard that name was October 22nd, 2021, when we were speaking with Michael Manigault in the interview room.
So that was your first lead towards him.
Yes, sir.
And up until that time, what have y'all been doing?
We've been interviewing and in as many people as we could that we feel like had information for this case. People that had connections to Mr. Mello, people that had that knew Tina, that knew Christina, just that knew everybody. We didn't have much to go on other than that ring camera. So we were just talking to as many people as we could.
Now, you spoke to Mr. Manigault. Did you take his DNA sample? Not you personally, but was his DNA taken?
His DNA was taken, yes, sir.
Yeah, I think it was taken by Master Deputy Wolf.
I believe so.
Did you take his phone?
Yes, sir.
And did you send that over to be downloaded and reviewed?
We did.
So was it sort of normal protocol to take DNA samples and phones from individuals that may be potentially related to this case?
Yes, sir. There was a connection with Mr. Manigault and Mr. Mello, and obviously we know Mr. Mello was going through this heated child custody battle. And we didn't have much to go on. We were still grinding away. So we just want to get
Well-
as much information as we can.
I mean, a lot of times we'll hear from the lead investigator a couple of times. You know what I mean? So, Kathy was talking about how they usually are the last one on, and I didn't think about that. That is right. But then when Miss King brought up the medical, I'm like, oh, you know what? Did I miss that? But yeah, no, we haven't seen that part yet. So he'll probably, sometimes their prosecution's really big about wanting to like keep things in a specific order and all that jazz. So it's untelling. Cynthia says the state has yet to connect all the dots, in my opinion. Yeah, no on the DNA yet. Mm-mm. I hope so. I really hope so. That better be her blood on that bike, or else. Megan Boswell trial had the ME and chief medical examiner on last. Okay. I still got to get caught up on that one. I know how it ended, but I still got to watch it.
And if we don't need it, we don't need it, but at least we have it.
And so was your next big break was the flock camera?
Yes, sir. When we were speaking with Mr. Manigault, Investigator Wolf, who spoke to y'all earlier, he went and did some research on Mr. Hughes and did some research, found his truck, found him on a flock camera, as you saw, the day of the murder, with that bicycle in the back of his truck. And that was the only day that bicycle was in the back of that truck.
So is that when y'all were able to get a warrant for 200 Tyndall?
Yes, sir.
Was that the residence of Zach Hughes?
Yes, sir.
All right. And at 200 Tyndall, is that first time y'all really laid eyes on Zach Hughes?
Yes, sir.
All right. And were you able to seize his phone?
We did.
Okay. And what do you do when you seize these phones? I know there's multiple phones. For example, you obviously seized and took the victim's phone.
Yes, sir.
Christina Parcells.
Yes, sir.
So with Zach Hughes' phone, what do you do with it?
We take it and we get a search warrant for it, and we send it to our unit that does data extractions on cell phones, and they get as much information off of that cell phone as they can.
And now, once those downloads are produced and put in that, I think Jim Perry talked about Cellbrite Reader, and I think we spent a lot of time looking at Cellbrite Reader just a moment ago. Do you review that with the experts on the phone side, or y'all coordinate with that information that you derive from that phone?
Yes, sir. We review it. I'll review it on my own. I'll review it with them because they're more familiar with that process. So we do it together.
Okay. And what are you looking for inside those phones?
Looking for anything from pictures to location data to phone calls. We look through the address book, messages, anything that we can get out of that phone is what we're looking through.
And on Zach Hughes' phone, we've heard some testimony to it. Were you able to locate WhatsApp messages?
Yes, sir.
Do you recall sort of the difficulty in those WhatsApp messages that you had in your investigation?
Yes, sir.
Tell this jury about that.
So those WhatsApp messages, when they were recovered from Zach Hughes' cell phone, when we got them, they were in a scrambled state. The words weren't in order how they should be. It made no sense. And the reason for that is when a WhatsApp is deleted from a device and then recovered using what they use to do the forensic download of the phone, when they're recovered, they're in a scrambled state.
And now in WhatsApp, if we communicate, with each other on my phone to your phone in WhatsApp. Is there any way to get that information from the WhatsApp corporate office?
No, WhatsApp is encrypted end to end. We'll send a search warrant to WhatsApp, and there's nothing they can give us as far as the meat and potatoes of these conversations. What they'll give us is the account information of each number, of each WhatsApp number, and that's basically it.
And did you in fact send a search warrant to WhatsApp?
We did.
And did you get any of these messages from WhatsApp?
No, sir.
Now, did you review all of those WhatsApps?
Yes, sir.
And about how many WhatsApps do you think you reviewed?
It was a lot, hundreds and hundreds.
Was it enough to fill a thick binder?
Yes, sir.
All right, and you went through all of those?
Yes, sir.
And in those WhatsApps, when you're reading the messages, are the words in a coherent order, or do you have to kind of analyze what they are?
I have to analyze what they are.
Okay. And did you analyze what they are in relation to the facts that of this investigation?
Yes, sir.
All right. And were you able to pull relevant WhatsApp messages that you believe to be relevant to this investigation?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm going to show you what's already been into evidence, States Exhibit 173. So what is States Exhibit 173?
This is the first page of the report that was extracted from Zach Hughes' cell phone. And it shows a WhatsApp conversation. This conversation is between Zach Hughes and John Mello.
And so would this be the first WhatsApp communication between those two individuals
Yes.
that you recovered?
That we recovered, yes, sir.
All right. And what's the date of that?
December 7th of 2020.
Is that October 7th?
I'm sorry, October 7th, 2020.
I'll try. There you go. Is that better?
Yes.
And so it says instant messages, and up there, what's that number right there?
1,769.
And what does this say right here?
That says scrambled.
And is this date accurate right here? I mean, the time in which it was sent accurate?
Yes, sir.
How do you know that?
I know that when Cellbrite provides the report, they automatically adjust the time to make it correct.
So it's in Eastern
They
Standard
they
Time.
go from, they convert it, I guess is a better way to put it, convert it from UTC to Eastern Standard Time.
All right, and so this first message from Zach, and I'm assuming that's Zach up there.
Yes, this report, it pulled a picture of Zach Hughes, and also when we got the return back from WhatsApp, it did give us that picture as his profile picture. It's his picture, it has his telephone number that ends in 0020, says Zachary Hughes owner.
And so what is this first message on October 7th, 2020 at 11:40 a.m.?
It says, "It's John Zach."
So when we're talking about scramble, is this an easy sort of example of the scramble?
Yes, sir, I feel confident I could unscramble that.
So what do you think, what would you derive from that as far as your investigation?
Well, knowing that this text is from John Mello, because it has right here his number at whatsapp.net and says John Mello. We know that's his number because that number was in his email signature from the Google emails that we sent. So I know it says Zach, it's John.
And you also know that, do you know that Zach spells his name Z-A-C-K?
I do know that. I know that some documents were located in his room at 200 Tyndall, and that's how his name was spelled on it.
And then this would be a response right there. And so, again, it says, what does this say?
It says scrambled.
All right, and this little dot there,
So that little red, it's an X. I'm not sure if you could see it, but it's an X, and that's on all of these messages from both parties. That means that this was a deleted WhatsApp that was recovered.
And so, who was the response from?
The response is from Zachary Hughes, and I know that because it has Zachary Hughes' phone number, ends in 0020.
And he's in green, is that correct?
Yes, sir. On all of these messages that you will see, the ones on the left in blue are all from John Mello. The ones on the right in green are all from Zachary Hughes.
All right, and so what does this message say?
I'm going to read it as is. It reads, "Is on it other the my man how side."
And
I interpret-
in your interpretation of that, this is your interpretation in relation to your investigation, correct?
Yes, sir. I interpret that as, how's it going on the other side? Something to that extent. And I believe I know that because I know that at this time, Mr. Mello was on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean in Italy. Mr. Hughes was in the United States.
All right, I'm going to show you some more WhatsApps, and we'll go through them the best we can. I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 183. I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 183. See if you recognize that.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell the jury what that is?
This is a printout of some more WhatsApp messages between John Mello and Zach Hughes from April the 16th of 2021 to April the 17th of 2021.
Your Honor, State moves Exhibit 183 into evidence. Without objection. Without objection. All right, you said the dates are April 16th, 2021. Put us in context of what's going on in this particular case in April of 2021.
If you recall, April of 2021 is when Christina was able to go to Italy and bring Ida back to the United States, to South Carolina.
All right. So there is the first message, and it's in blue, so who's it from?
This is from John Mello.
All right, and what does that message say?
Up in WhatsApp, you was setting sorry.
In relation to this investigation, do you have any significant interpretation of that?
It says WhatsApp in there.
What's that? So you derive, it's talking about WhatsApp.
It's talking about this application.
And then the next one is, what's the date of that one?
The date is 4/17, April 17th, 2021.
At what time?
It's at 6:55 a.m.
And?
This is from John Mello. It says, secret phone number got I dude private Christina's.
All right. So how did you interpret that in relation to this investigation?
I interpret that as, dude, I've got Christina's private number.
And then what looks like 2 minutes later, what's the date on that?
The same date, April 17th, 21 at 6:57 a.m.
All right. And what does that one say?
This is a message from John Mello. It says, harass shit of her 5142. We can the 864 out 483.
So how did you interpret that in relation to this case?
I believe he's providing Christina's phone number, which I know ends in 5142. He's saying harass the shit out of her.
Back to the top. What is that first message there?
This is a message from John Mello on April 17th of 21 at 8:33 a.m. He sends a JPEG image. You can't tell, you don't know what the image is. It didn't recover the image, only that an image was sent.
All right, so why can't you recover the images?
Because it's encrypted. The fact that it was encrypted and the fact that it was deleted from his phone, the images weren't able to be recovered.
The next one?
The next one's from John Mello, same date at 8:33 a.m. It says, email please to this me photo.
And Zach Hughes' response?
Excellent, haha.
Now, you don't know what that photo is.
No, sir.
Do you know when John Mello emailed Zach Hughes photos of Christina Parcell with no clothes on? We've looked at them all morning.
I know it was around this time. I don't recall the exact date, but I know it was around this time.
What about May, middle of May?
Yes, sir.
Sound right? All right. Go back to the top.
This is a message from Zach Hughes to John Mello. The same date at 8:37, just did. He, right after that, says, of her, photo great. Great photo of her is how I see that. John Mello, just shortly after, responds with thanks. And then I-bar got a. I don't have an interpretation for that. This is also on April 17th of 21 at 8:38. Zach Hughes messages, let's talk later, next hours teaching, I'm the 6 for butt. I translate that as, let's talk later, I'm teaching. He's busy teaching something, likely piano lessons or some type of musical lessons. He then states shortly after, you stop thinking, guys, been about none. And Mr. Mello responds with thanks, okay. And then thank you, brother. This message is from John Mello, April 17th of 21 at 8:39. It states, dollar burner phone, buy cheap, a store. I interpret that he's telling him to buy cheap burner phone from a store. He then states, haha, something else, no for. And then he states, message, ignore that last, shortly after. Then Mr. Mello again states, burner pay get, will I a but.
What do you interpret that as?
It looks like he's saying he'll pay for the burner phone.
What do people use a burner phone for?
A lot of people use, in my training experience, they use burner phones when they don't want, what's on their actual phone to come out. A lot of it's used in a lot of drug deals. It's just a cheap phone that people can get. They're not associated with that number, and they can toss it when they're finished with it.
All right. We'll move on to another day. I'm gonna show you State's Exhibit 184. City States 184, you recognize that?
Yes, sir.
Are those the WhatsApp messages that we reviewed, that we've been discussing?
These are still the WhatsApp messages in this same report from May the 15th of 2021 to May the 20th of 2021.
All right, I'm going to show you the first one here. Who is this? Oh, sorry, State moves 184 to evidence. No objection. 184 comes up.
This is Mr. Mello. He sends another JPEG image to Zachary
Hi,
Hughes. Again, we
Margaret.
don't know what the image is. But with that image, he sends a message and it states, "My Christina, our daughters present mother, JPEG, gentlemen and ladies,
I'm on
parcel."
lunch too.
I interpret that as, ladies and gentlemen, I present Christina's mother.
And then, is there a second?
There's a second image. It's another unknown JPEG image.
And what about that one?
At 8:18 p.m., the message states Warren Escort Caroline, AKA Sweet. And that's relevant in this investigation because as you saw from some of the items that were in these packages that were mailed out, Caroline Warren's name, the name Caroline Warren was on there.
So those were the items that were in the packages.
Yes, sir.
Show you State's Exhibit 185. So you State's 185.
These are more of the WhatsApp messages between John Mello and Zachary Hughes. These are dated from May 23rd, 21 to July the 3rd of 2021.
State moves 185 into evidence. Without objection. Objection. And we'll start at the top with the date.
This is from Mr. Mello to Mr. Hughes on May 23rd, 2021 at 2:13 p.m. Just states no. The following message is on the following day, May 24th at 3:42 a.m. It states, Part V is writing its best. A few hours later at 8:15, Mello states, listen should make that you from today, Greenville, thinking I'm. And then a couple minutes later, he sends a message that says mail.
Why did that grab your attention?
Well, that grabbed my attention because he's talking about mailing things from the Greenville area. And I know that,
Potentially?
right, potentially, and I know that we've got these, I know about these letters that have been sent out, so it piqued my interest. Mello states on the same date at 8:17 a.m. an outside mailbox.
And then does Zach Hughes respond?
Yes, sir. Zach Hughes responds at 8:18 a.m., says, all right. He follows that up with a message, and it reads, I'm riding bike my way that. I interpret that as I'm riding my bike that way. And then right after that, he states, the message says, B want camera on truck. The truck won't be on camera.
And now more from John Mello.
John Mello at 8:19 a.m., still on the 24th of May. This message reads, Charlotte Post.
Not till
Be
October.
your day
Tony.
outs. Info flight mailed from in Wood. Same mark. The it's Charlotte. I think you skipped over one. You come down a little bit. Then Mello states, puts Charlotte in you, puts you in Charlotte. Mr. Mello then states at 8:20 a.m., it says, and sunglasses, baseball, wear a hat. He's saying, wear a baseball hat and sunglasses.
Now, did you, in viewing Mr. Hughes' phone, were you able to determine if whether Mr. Hughes visited Mr. Mello?
Yes.
And what about time what date did he visit Mr. Mello?
It was in June, early June of 2021.
How do you know that?
That is from just conversations that were pulled from messages from his cell phone.
Was there also a video on Zach's phone, Hughes, that you?
Yes,
looked at?
a video was pulled from Zach Hughes' cell phone, and it was a FaceTime. It was a recording of a FaceTime between John Mello and Aida Mello.
And who was doing the recording of the FaceTime?
I believe it was Zach Hughes that was doing the recording from his phone.
And who was he with in the recording?
John Mello and Zach Hughes were together.
And who was John Mello talking to?
John Mello's talking to Aida.
And about what time was that?
That was May 31st, 2021.
And was John Mello in Italy?
John Mello was in Italy. Therefore, Zach was in Italy.
All right, and then finally, they continued this conversation.
Yes, sir. They continue at 8:20 a.m. John Mello's, the message says, a misspelling of phone, lobby your into or Poinsett on go, the hotel upstairs, down sit and play. I believe he's saying go to the Poinsett Hotel and sit down upstairs and play, likely the piano, because that's what his background is in. At 8:21, still on May 24th, John Mello states nice. A minute later, it says, time you post downtown 27, he has even our postman, it made camera 2 gets by office if on stops the. I know that he's talking about a postman and he's talking about a camera. He then states, from come it anywhere would. I look at that and see it could come from anywhere.
And then what does Zach Hughes say?
At 8:24 a.m., it states, bought gray baseball yesterday, a nondescript cap.
So as far as your investigation is concerned, how did you interpret that?
With these last few messages, they're obviously trying to conceal identity, trying to keep out of view of cameras that may be nearby.
And did Zach Hughes respond? Continue to respond?
At 8:24, it states from Zach Hughes, drop just my ride in a box, in an box, it, I'll, and somewhere outside bike.
So what is your interpretation of that?
He's talking about riding his bike somewhere and dropping something in a box outside.
And what does he say?
Then states, good point. Mr. Mello responds at 8:25. This message states, too hard there or find. I interpret that as they are hard to find, likely. Mr. Mello then states, office post throughs drive are at they. Something about post office.
And these are all from Mr. Mello?
Yes, sir. We're still in blue. Mr. Mello at 8:26. This message says buying the U online or postage. I think he's saying, he's asking, are you buying the postage online? Then says, this message states, just that by UA, but B are heavy, will, Shramo, easy letters. And then stamp is the next message. The following message is 8:27 from Mr. Mello. And Staples postage, it can sell, I think, way.
Now, earlier Zach Hughes referred to riding a bike to drop it off.
Yes, sir.
Is that important in this case?
I think it's extremely important. We obviously saw video of our suspect leaving the scene on a bicycle. At 8:41 a.m., Zach Hughes, this message says, of I know one. Then the next message is good thought. John Mello responds with, sets you getting R2. It looks like he's asking, are you getting 2 sets?
And Zach Hughes says what?
Yes. Zach Hughes, we're at 9:04 a.m. now. This message says, you let know it was much how ow. Cash paying. And then first by IAU, updated thumb drive, go, have, I'll keep 2. John Mello responds with cool, okay.
Thumb drive?
Thumb drive sticks out, paying cash sticks out. Obviously, it's harder to track paying cash if you use a credit card, debit card.
All right, and what's the date of this?
We're May 24th of 21. This is at 9:07 a.m. It's the next message. John Mello sends and it says to ruin going their weekend. Going to ruin their weekend.
What do you think there is referring to?
I think there is referring to Miss Parcell and everybody that received those letters.
Zach's response, Zach Hughes' response.
Yes, sir. Same date, 7:17 p.m. This message, it reads, in hold on Can I-5 Talk. At 8:21 p.m., the message from Zach Hughes states, before Zoom, Stathicus, we, if, won't, and thee can chat. Miller responds at 7:18 a.m. on the 26th at call 9:15. And we are at July the 3rd of 21. This is 1:09. Zach Hughes responds with, headed Marina, friends, I'm with to thee. John Mello responds at 1:09 p.m. on July the 3rd. 1 minute call.
Which is probably,
Call in 1 minute. This is at 1:45 p.m. from Zach to John. It reads, sounds is on post like low funds.
now, do you see how he spells post?
Yes, sir.
I'm referring to States Exhibit 2. How is post spelled on this envelope on States Exhibit 2?
It's incorrectly spelled P-O-A-S-T.
And what was the other response?
From Zach, it states could from benefit as well, check blank A. Could benefit from a blank check. How I look at it.
All right, I'm gonna move on to October 12th. Some more WhatsApps. Show your States Exhibit 186. These additional WhatsApps, just like the ones we were reviewing.
Yes, sir.
What's the start date on those?
Start date on this is October 12th, 2021.
State moves 186 in evidence. No objection.
Objection, 186 comes in that.
Starts there. All right, now is John Mello in blue.
John Mello's still in blue, and this first message is dated October 12th, 2021 at 8:58 p.m. It reads, her arms who chopped off.
And what do you think it referring to?
I think it should read, who chopped off her arms. I think he's referring to Christina Mello, or Christina Parcell.
Photo.
Yes,
Photo of Christina
a photo of Christina Parcell.
All right, and then this next one?
Same date. No, I'm sorry. This is on October the 13th, 2021. at 10:06 a.m. Burden,
I'm sorry, is this Mello
this
sending
is,
this
this
message?
is from John Mello to Zachary Hughes. Burden if way, but Aida, life, like family, finally, beg down, case, am lawyer, love, more doomed, been a count think, than not listening is totally nothing, her it matter as I, 14 November, at would so leave, has me stake you to point, let have all even taking our due, close, stay, we, she, and us right of hate control, brother, no needs, was this can very far, your for come say with on thee. I don't know what it says. I know it's talking about a burden. I know that it mentions a lawyer. I know it mentions Aida.
And then what time does Zach respond on October 13th, 2021?
Zach Hughes responds at 11:36 a.m. on October 13th, 2021 with LOL.
And then again?
The next message right after, it reads, I know, brother.
Going to, what's the date?
We're still on October 13th, 21
At what time?
11:36 a.m.
And that's current time, that's local time, right?
That's local time. Zach Hughes' message states, let's talk in a bit. The following message, still on the 13th at 2:48 p.m. It reads, soon we'll working up later catch in week, I'm never mind thee. John Miller responds on October 13th, 21 at 2:49 p.m. And it reads, asleep till fell I was 5-man Saudi Jub.
And then Zach Hughes responds,
At 2:50 p.m. No worries, man. Still on October 13th at 2:50, John Mello sends this message, and it reads, 3 now couldn't information since thing after another. Thee are single bit I sleep today, our raising it's here at fees worried. Ain't building 1 weeks or not lawyer. I'm maintenance in can't of OTS about everything eat they'll my a last. And he follows that up a minute later with, and it reads, up be you or woke. Again, me night, GLSD,
any significance?
It looks to be like it's talking about nighttime, woke me up, possibly. Zach Hughes responds at 2:51 p.m. and this message reads, just manager got well, LOL texted work at off the night. And then a minute later, Zach Hughes sends a message that, and it reads, chat let's in little a bit. October 13th, 2021 at 2:52 p.m., John Mello sends Zach Hughes a message, and this, it reads, that did research on music, how go?
And that's October 13th, 2021.
Yes, sir.
And what did he respond?
At 2:53 p.m., the message reads, phone over, tell you good, the I'll.
How do you interpret that?
Good, I'll tell you over the phone. And Mr. Mello responds with cool.
Is that the last WhatsApp that was ever recovered?
Yes.
All right. And do you recall Investigator Perry's testimony about how long the conversation they had in the afternoon of the 13th?
I do.
How long was that?
I believe it was about an hour and 20 minutes.
What did you interpret that music research as?
I don't believe it was really music research. I believe John Mello sent a message to Zach Hughes in code.
His interpretation of what that means.
What's the statement?
All right. So, Investigator Sparkman, did you also review the Gmails between John Mello and Zachary Hughes?
Yes, sir.
And I know in the entire team, they just sent out search warrants for those Gmails.
Yes, sir.
And as far as numbers of Gmails from John Mello's email address and Zach Hughes' email address, how many emails do you think you received between the two of those?
Hundreds. It fills up a large 3-ring binder.
All right, so did you cull it down to emails just between John Mello and Zach Hughes?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to show you what State's Exhibit 190 marks for identification purposes only. Can you look at that?
Yes, sir. These are the emails between Zach Hughes and John Mello.
And did you have the occasion to review those?
Yes.
And do you know when those emails began?
Yes, sir. They began August 29th of 2020.
And when did they end?
They ended October 20th of 2021.
Okay. Is that when John Mello returned home?
Yes, sir.
Back to the United States?
Yes, sir.
Now, in reviewing all of these Gmails between Zach Hughes and John Mello, what was the basic theme involved in all of these?
That Zachary Hughes was very involved, extremely involved with.
I object to this kind of summary of it. I mean, if they have specific emails that they would like to try to introduce, that's one thing. But just giving his interpretation of all of these emails, I would object to. You don't come up here.
Yeah, they don't want to let them get any, any sort of idea that they were super close. Which is weird because it's obvious they were. I will say on the romantic front, though, would you call your Mr. Lover brother? You know what I mean? Mr. Lover. Does anybody spot Gigi in there? And is big chunky houndstooth like in style all of a sudden? Because that's the second person wearing large black and white chunky houndstooth fabric clothing. Oh, I think I see Gigi right back there in the very back. I think that was her. Everybody there just looks like they're at a, you know, somebody's wedding or funeral, or they're just all just kind of hanging out, chit chatting. Hmm. Waiting for the music portion, right? I know, very weird.
For Investigator Sparkman, again, you've reviewed, I'm sorry.
Is this gonna be, you got a little bit longer?
Yeah, I got a little
Okay, and that's fine. Hey, it sounds like our jury needs to take a quick restroom break. I don't normally like to do that mid-testimony, but I also want to take care of my jury. So we're gonna take a 5-10 minute break, okay?
Somebody's got a nervous tummy, or else they had too much to drink at lunchtime, or too much coffee on the last break, or something, right? Right, Cynthia. The texts sure don't indicate that they were an item, not a one. I love you. Maybe in the emails, maybe. Yeah, it just felt weird because they called. I don't remember which one of them called the other brother, but that's just, I don't think something that you would call someone you're in a romantic relationship with. I don't know. I don't know, Donnie. I don't know if they have said anything, or if they have anything, they haven't said anything yet. But what I want to know, I missed something that was said earlier. Maybe one of you guys caught it when they were talking about in the scrambled messages, something about a blank check. And I think the word beneficial was in the sentence too. So I don't know what that was in reference to, or what the full part of that scrambled sentence was. Right, Cynthia? No, no, I don't think I meant that, but I could totally see what you mean. I just feel like it's just kind of like guys call their buddies brother. You know what I mean? But not guys that are in a romantic relationship. It's just weird. Very weird. Yeah, or bro. Mhm. Very strange. Oh no, here come the yawns. Here come the yawns. Da-da-da. Mm-hmm. Dun, 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 dun. Have y'all got any plans for the weekend? What are your weekend plans? I don't think I have anything planned for the weekend. Honestly, my last couple of weekends has been like chill central. Chill central. I would love for my thyroid level to start increasing enough to where at least feel like, you know, doing something around this house. Akasha says finishing the painting project I started by accident 3 weeks ago. How do you start a painting project by accident? Oh, Cynthia, we're not big into, we've never been big into like doing stuff for Valentine's Day. I mean, he'll probably get me a card and a little box of candy, and I do the same for him. And we get the kids like little plushies or something small like that. But as far as like going all out for Valentine's Day, yeah, no, we haven't done that in ever, really. Oh, that's cute, Donnie. Donnie said Chris and I go to IHOP for Valentine's Day. Cute. Akasha said I was organizing my laundry room and I was cleaning the shelves and I thought they weren't coming clean. I remembered I had some paint. Now I have the whole laundry room torn apart. That sounds like something I would totally do. Totally do. And you hear that story all the time. Like, and it's always an extreme situation, right? Like, you find yourself doing exactly that. Or, like, remodeling the whole room. You're like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. I'm just going to go in here and, uh, clean the shower and scrub the toilet. And the next thing you know, boom, you've got 2 gallons of paint and all new everything, light fixtures, everything. True story, Cherie. Once you start a small project, it ends up into a huge one. Yep. It really started because I bought new shelves for a different wall. Mm. My laundry room is tiny. Tiny, tiny. Like, I don't really have good space to actually like fold laundry in there or hang laundry. Like, you know how sometimes, like, you have some people who will stand at the dryer and pull things out one at a time and fold it up fresh out of the dryer, right? And sort them into piles for whose is whose. Or have empty clothes hangers right there at the ready to hang your hangables up so they don't get wrinkled right away. You know, I don't have room in my laundry room to do that. I have to pull everything out of the dryer into a basket, take the basket somewhere else, and then do the folding and the hanging because I just don't have the space. So now I'll blame the SO for putting up the shelves. See how that works? I mean, it's always their fault, right? It's always their fault. Oh, no, I ain't doing that. I used to be that one who would, and I still am occasionally when I'm like in a hurry. Like I can make room to stand there at the dryer and pull things out one at a time and fold them and whatever. But you want to know, I was watching an organizing channel, or it wasn't even an organizing channel, it was a minimalist channel back a couple of years ago. And she was like, everybody goes through different seasons in their life. Sometimes you're in the season where you can take the time and do the laundry. Did they just switch something over here? I'm still live. I'm just making sure I didn't miss something. Okay. But then she's like, but you know what? Other times you're in a season where you just are hanging by a string, hanging by a thread. And she said, in those seasons, who says the clothes have to be folded or hung up? They don't have to be folded. They don't even have to go in their dressers or closets. And I was like, that's me. I want to be that. I'm in that season right now.
Okay, please continue. Thank you.
Thank you, All right, Ms. Court. Investigator Sparkman, you had identified State's Exhibit 190 for identification purposes only. Again, tell us what that was.
These are email communications between Zach Hughes and John Mello.
And the dates of the first email to the last email.
First one is August 29th of 2020. The last one is October the 20th of 2021.
Okay. And you were able to review those emails.
Yes,
And did you sort of analyze them the same way you did the WhatsApp in relation to your investigation?
I did.
All right. And in those emails, as between Zach Hughes and John Mello, is Zach Hughes either what I'll call CC'd or blind copied on emails from John Mello to various family court attorneys?
Yes, there are a lot of those emails that John Mello sends to attorneys or other people regarding the child custody dispute. Zach Hughes is either CC'd on them or blind copied on them.
All right. Are there emails where Zach Hughes assists John Mello in writing emails or maybe papers regarding the child custody dispute, or corrects or edits some of that information regarding the child custody dispute for John Mello?
There are.
Are there emails where Zach Hughes is, are there emails where John Mello tells the family court attorney that Zach Hughes is allowed to communicate with the attorney?
Yes.
And that is regarding the child custody case over he and Christina Parcells' daughter.
Yes, sir.
And are there emails where Zach Hughes himself is communicating directly with John Mello's family court attorney?
Yes, sir.
And are there instances where Zach Hughes is maybe running errands or doing things in furtherance of the child custody?
Yes, sir.
And are there emails between Zach Hughes and John Mello discussing the child custody?
There are lots of them.
Okay. And what are those saying?
They're just talking about the situation. Mr. Mello's getting frustrated. You could tell he's getting frustrated based on words that he uses. going to different attorneys. John Miller's talking about how he's getting frustrated with Attorney A, and that we need to reach out to a different attorney.
And are a lot of these, I know they started in when they began in October or August. From around April to October 13th, that time frame. Would that be the time frame when Aida was given custody to Christina Parcell and they moved back to, and Aida moved back to South Carolina?
Yes, sir.
In that time frame, were there a lot of those emails regarding the custody dispute?
Yes, sir.
Is it fair to say that Zach Hughes was well aware of the custody dispute between Christina Parcell and John Mello?
Yes, sir.
And finally, were the emails, communications between Zach Hughes and John Mello, were they caring for each other?
Yes.
In what way?
There's messages in there where one tells the other they love them. The other one will say, love you back.
All right. In addition to your duties as investigator, did you review Zach Hughes's photos on his phone?
Yes, sir.
And we've had prior testimony, but were those are downloaded. The photos inside his phone are then downloaded as the images in which they're in there.
Yes, sir.
And you reviewed all of those.
I did.
I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 188.
Well, there it is. Ruh-roh. Ruh-roh.
What is State's Exhibit 188?
This is an image that was recovered from Zach Hughes's phone. It appears to be a picture of some typing that states, to John Mello and his lawyer.
So do you recognize this?
I do.
And where was this, what date was this, photo captured on his phone?
I believe it was August 13th of 2020.
2021?
Yes, sir.
State moves 188 into evidence.
Objection. Objection, 188.
All right, what does it say?
To John Mello and his lawyer, please find enclosed photos and advertisements of Christina Parcell, AKA Caroline Warren.
Now, how was that related to your investigation?
Well, as we've touched on before, the name Caroline Warren appeared on these printouts that were mailed in these photos to various people.
Next, I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 187.
and show you State's Exhibit 187. Do you recognize that?
I do.
What is that?
This is an image that was recovered from Zachary Hughes's cell phone,
Was it recovered from what area of his cell phone?
his photos.
So would it be a snap or a screenshot, I guess is what they call it?
Yes, this appears to be a screenshot of an image that was recovered from Zach's photos.
State moves 187 into evidence. Without objection.
No objection, 187 becomes part of the record.
All right. And so what is this image?
This is an image, the date on this image is June 23rd of 2021 that the reports showed for this image. But this is an image of a message conversation where someone sends the address of 122 Canebrake Drive, Greer, South Carolina, 29650 to, if you pull it down just a little bit for me, the opposite way. So this is a conversation involving John Mello.
All right, and why is a snapshot of that address important?
Because now John Mello knows where Christina lives.
And if John Mello knows where Christina lives, who else knows?
Zach Hughes.
This was on Zach's phone.
Yes.
One last one. State's Exhibit 189.
You might be right, Michelle. In emails, one said I love you and the other one said I love you back.
Hey, please, Courtyard, I think we may have to have a conference out about the price of this budget.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to send you back to the jury room so I can take them to the sheet.
Oh, shoot. Did they go on a break? Sorry, I was sitting over here trying to figure out my Walmart order. I got a text that says an item was substituted. And my shopper started shopping 3 minutes ago. So I gotta hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. I didn't hear him say they were taking a break, though. Sorry, I'm waiting on the shopper to message me back. Oh, never mind. She said she actually found the item. Okay. 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 Um 5:30. Yeah, but I don't think that they would um well, one, the stream would end, and two, I would think that the judge would come back and, dismiss the juror. Oh, hold on. They may be getting ready to leave for the day, but usually they would, dismiss the jurors for, oh, well, he's still on the stand. I think there was something about that last piece of evidence that I think the defense was not wanting to come into play. Something on that phone. Why are his eyes darting back and forth like that?
So going back to the emails real briefly, Investigator Sparkman, based on those emails, is it fair to say that John Miller was fighting hard for custody of his daughter?
Yes, sir.
And Zach was fully aware of what was going on?
Yes.
What is the one clear way that John Mello could be assured that he would get custody of his daughter?
By making sure that Christina Parcell was dead.
Now, briefly, did you establish a timeline of sort of events based on this entire investigation?
Yes, sir.
That were important events. And before you did that, did you also look at the phone and to Zach Hughes' phone regarding airplane mode?
I did.
And were you able to determine if he'd ever put it out of airplane mode on October 13th?
Yes, sir, I did.
And what were the two times in which it came out of airplane mode?
At 2:22 p.m. and at 2:32 p.m.
All right. And why am I saying out of airplane mode?
Because I don't believe the extractions show when the phone is put into airplane mode, only when it comes out of airplane mode.
All right, so I'm going to show you what's State's Exhibit. $191. I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 191. Do you recognize this?
Yes.
Did you assist in preparing this?
Yes.
And what is it?
This is a timeline of the locations of Zachary Hughes beginning on October 11th through October 13th.
And what information is this based on?
This is based on a combination of things: device location from his phone, witnesses, device location, a trail cam that was introduced, Ring doorbell cameras, flock cameras, just different events that were pulled from Mr. Hughes's phone that had a location with it.
All of those are in evidence.
Yes, sir.
I'm just going to get you to briefly go through this with the jury.
Good night, Michelle. See you tomorrow.
191 in evidence.
Thanks for hanging out with us all day.
Mr. Spartan, investigator, if you want to step down right here, if you want, please speak loud so that you can see.
Yes, sir. So the first day on here is October 11th, and this timeline shows that between 10:05 and 10:56 a.m., it shows where the trail cam captured Zachary Hughes at 799 Indian Flats Trail, the Mountain House. It shows on October the 12th at 1:07 p.m. his phone put him at 200 Tyndall. At 1:18 p.m. his phone puts him at John Mellow's house. From 6:56 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. his phone puts him back at the Mountain House. At 4:30 a.m. it shows that his phone was plugged in or unlocked. The same at 7:42 a.m. From 7:42 a.m. to 11:34 a.m. there's no activity on his phone. At 8:15 a.m. this is when Donna Gorman identifies Zach Hughes. At 9:15 a.m. you see the ring camera from across the street of the incident location showing the suspect going to the front door. At 9:27 a.m. 133 Canebrake Drive captures the suspect leading on a bicycle. At 9:28 a.m. 207 Saratoga Drive captures the suspect leading on a bicycle. At 1:17 p.m. same day, still on the same day, Zach Hughes' phone connects to the Wi-Fi at the Mountain House. At 1:48 p.m. and 2:22 p.m., as I stated earlier, his phone comes out of airplane mode. At 2:32 p.m., that's when the flock camera shows the bicycle in the back of his truck at Rutherford and Buncombe. And that is in the direction that is coming from the Travelers Rest area back towards downtown. So that would be coming from the Mountain House back towards the city limits, back towards near where he or Mello live. 242, his device location puts him at 200 Tyndall, where he's residing. At 4:23 p.m., there's some location data from Schedule Fly on his phone. I believe Schedule Fly is how he signs up for work. At 6:16 p.m., his phone data puts him at 103 North Main Street. At 7:30 p.m., he's captured on flock camera. His vehicle is captured on flock camera, the Ford Ranger, at Lawrence in Washington. That is in Greenville city limits. And at 7:15 p.m., at an unknown location, he has a 120-minute phone call with John Mello.
That's all the state has for this witness.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to break for the evening. As I have told you before, you're prohibited from watching any TV coverage of this trial, and you should not do any type of research or investigate anything. Do not look at any social media. I've already asked you to cut off any notifications that you might have on your phone. It really is important, as I told you, to the integrity of this trial, to justice and fairness to the defendant and the state, that you only consider the evidence that comes in through this courtroom. You are not to begin any kind of deliberations among yourselves whatsoever until the end of the trial, when I give you specific instructions to begin your deliberations. And again, you cannot discuss this case with your spouses, family members, friends until after your jury service is completed. And if anyone comes and talks to you, you need to let me know immediately. I hope y'all have a wonderful evening, and I will see y'all back at 9:30 in the morning, okay? Thank you again.
So, wonder if they're done. I mean, I know they're done, but are they waiting for the jury to come out before he says anything? Because usually he'll double check, make sure there's nothing that the defense or the state wants to talk about before they leave for the day. Michelle said she was having quiche and bacon strips. That sounds so good. You're not going to believe this, but the husband last night mentioned having pizza for dinner tonight. Wouldn't you know it? Wouldn't you know it? Wouldn't you know it? Cracks me up. And somebody else said the same thing too. Was it somebody else said that their husband wanted pizza for dinner tonight, but I don't remember who it was. Everybody gonna have DiGiorno's tonight? Sherry. Okay. So funny. So funny. It was you. All right. Well, okay, the judge is standing up. I'd say they're donezo, but every once in a while they'll have some sort of a argument after the jury's gone for the day, and I just don't want to miss it if so. Let's double check. Ooh, yum, Cherie. Street tacos with Polish sausages. All right, well, it looks like they're done. He walked off the bench, so yeah. What do y'all think? Do we think that they're in an actual legit romantic relationship, allegedly? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Okay, hold on. They've switched to a different stream, so that one definitely ended. Okay. Ooh, cheeseburger soup. That sounds good. That sounds yummy. Cherie says, I think so. Sherry said, yeah. I don't know. Maybe, maybe, maybe. I mean, I tell my friends I love them all the time, right? But do guys do that? I mean, I'm sure there are some, but I don't know. I don't know. I do not know. All right, you guys. Well, I'm going to get on out of here. And we'll be back tomorrow about the same time. I may have to end early for the day. I have a doctor's appointment. Well, it's not a doctor's appointment. It's actual echocardiogram at 2 p.m. my time. So, Oh, there is a substitution. Hold on this daggone order. This order, they're wearing me out. Hold on a minute. Hi. Oh, no. I mean, I guess I can do that. That's okay. It's my sourdough bread. Is this one okay? Let me see. Details, schmeetails. Okay, that's fine. Can I approve it? Will it let me approve it? I think they already substituted it, which is fine. I don't care. I buy the Great Value brand, but they're out, so they're substituting it with the Pepperidge Farm, which is fine by me. I don't care. But anyway. All right. Akasha says, my guy friend says I love you, but I've known him since he was like 7 and he's gay. Yeah, gay men do say I love you a lot. So I don't know that counts. I mean, if they're telling each other they love each other, I don't know. Either way, any which way you look at it, it's crazy pants. Crazy pants. All right, I'll be back tomorrow, but like I said, I will end early. I'll have to leave here about 1:30, which means that would be about when they would be breaking for lunch anyway. So I think what I'll do is come back home and then start the part 2 after lunch, but it'll be later than 2:30, you know. Hopefully not too much later. But anyway, that'll be the plan. So, but we'll be back in the morning, normal time that we've been, which has been about 10 a.m. Eastern time. So, all right. Thank you guys for hanging out all day. And for all the folks that came over from Gossip, Rumor, and Innuendo, thank you so much. Thank you for coming over and hanging out with us today and letting us know that she sent you over. And thank you, Kathy, ma'am, for sending your folks over this way. It's very nice, very sweet, and I appreciate it. And I promise I will take good care of them while they're here. Okay? I promise. So, I'm going to scooch. Okay? But I will, this is a mess. But I will see you back tomorrow morning. So make sure to hit that thumbs up before you leave. Subscribe if you're new and you haven't yet subscribed. Click that notification bell so you don't miss anything. And put a hashtag replay in the comments down below if you're watching this on the replay. Love you guys, and I'll see you back tomorrow. Bye.